back to another episode of Whip It Like Butter. It's your girl Ashley, and today we're going to make a butter pecan pound cake. Yeah, just like the ice cream butter pecan, but in cake form. Give y'all a look at the cake all around. Of course, we made a butter icing for this cake. Topped it with some pecans, but we had some toasted pecans right in the batter of this cake. I think y'all really gonna love it, especially for the holidays, but for any time of the year, especially if you're a pecan lover. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So I'm gonna show you how it's done. Let's go. Okay, so we're starting out by melting our unsalted butter in the skillet on medium heat, and then we're going to add in our pecans. So we're going to stir them around for a few minutes before we add in our cinnamon and sugar. Next time I'll start this like the night before and let my pecans sit because I think the flavor would soak in better, but it was still good. I just ended up adding some more until I got it exactly the way I wanted it. So you let these continue to cook and simmer until they become fragrant. You may want to toast them just a little bit longer, but make sure that you stir them often so they don't burn because you have all this butter and stuff in there, okay? And you want to set that to the side and let it cool while you're preparing the cake. Okay, so we're adding our butter right in here. We're going to whip it like butter. And then we're going to slowly add in our granulated sugar. Nice and slow, y'all, okay? And then after that, we're adding in our light brown sugar. I like light and dark. They almost taste about the same to me. The dark is a little bit richer. Use light this time. Really, it's personal preference. Okay, so we're scraping down the sides of our bowl right here. And then we're going to go ahead and add in our vanilla extract into the bowl. All right here, just dump that on in. And then we're going to get ready to add our eggs to the bowl. Y'all know how we do. One egg at a time, mixing well between each addition. Once you no longer see any yellow, then it's time to add in the next egg. Just don't overdo it. Like, it doesn't have to be like perfect, but once you have your egg in there, then it's time to go to the next step. I'm stopping it here to add the flour because it's easier and because I don't want to overmix. I wasn't quite ready with the flour scooped together after I added the last egg, and I didn't want to overmix again. Okay, so adding our buttermilk here. Once you see it's blended, then you go ahead and add your next. Flour, buttermilk. Always start and end with your flour. Okay, so you have all that incorporated. And then I don't fully mix, and that's even especially important because we have to fold our toasted pecans into our batter. All right, so we're going to do that here. Get them all nice and blended, but don't overmix. Just fold until you have it all nice and combined. We'll spread the hell out of that bundt pan. Our oven is already preheated to 325 degrees, and we bake this thing for about an hour and a half. I kept checking, like I started at the hour mark usually, hour 15 mark, did the toothpick test. Honey, that thing was still wet, so I had to put that thing back in there for another 15 minutes. So about an hour, 30 minutes. It depends on your oven and it depends on your cake. So you definitely want to start checking at about the hour mark. Okay, and once that cake was done, we let it cool for 20 minutes right here in this pan on top of my cooling rack, and then flip that thing over. Ooh, y'all. Ooh, she's so pretty. All right, but we're gonna let her cool while we make our icing. So we have our cream cheese and our butter. You know what? Okay, and our vanilla extract. I think I could have gone for just a tad bit less butter, but the flavor was still there. Okay, and then add in our powdered sugar, and then we're gonna get that nice and blended, and then we're gonna slowly start adding in our milk. Y'all know I like to add this. I'm sorry, not milk. We use heavy cream this time. You can use milk, but this time I use heavy cream. I always think when you use heavy cream, you need a little bit more than what you would use for milk. I guess because it's thicker and it's a different consistency. But I don't know. Depends on what I'm making. I like the heavy cream. I could deal with both. But that's what we use for this recipe in particular. So I just kept going back and forth until I got it the way I want. Y'all see that drip? That's how I wanted it. I wanted the icing to be thick, but I wanted it to be flowy, and that's exactly what it was. And that's another good thing about using heavy cream because you can maintain thickness of your icing versus with milk, it makes your icing a little bit thinner. So I'm going in with my offset spatula because I want it to spread the way I want it to. All right, and then add a little bit more icing or frosting, whatever you want to call it, until I got it exactly the way I wanted it. You see that drip on the side? That's what I was definitely going for, but I didn't want it to cover the whole cake. I still wanted you to be able to see the cake through the icing. And we're going to top this with some more chopped pecans. I thought about topping the cake with the toasted pecans, but I don't want to overdo it flavor wise, and I'm glad I didn't because the toasted pecans inside the cake were enough to enhance the flavor. And you know what? I kind of like the balance of the both. I kind of like the balance of both. So you may want toasted pecans on top, but I didn't, and because it had like all the butter and stuff in it, and I didn't. It was still pretty good. It wasn't too bad, but I don't want too much run. Okay, and then we're gonna do a nice slice of this cake, and then y'all know we're gonna get ready to go ahead and do this taste test. Go ahead and see this slice here. You'll see it again in a minute too, but I always like to cut that cake for you so you know this is the real deal. And honey, look at that. Okay, let's go. Okay, so y'all saw that cut that I made in the cake. Didn't think about that the cake was still hot at the time. So I let the cake cool off. I was like, I'm not gonna cut it anymore until that cake is completely cooled off. That's very important, just me not thinking. And look how much cleaner that this slice of cake is. So just food for thought, you know, let your cake cool off. You can get a nice, better cut for your cake. All right, so y'all know I like to start from that corner. I'm gonna start here, okay. So I'm gonna taste the cake without the icing first. It's just like liquor. Like, let me taste the liquor just regular first without putting like mixers in it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I really like that. I really like that. Let me taste with the icing. I could probably even go for extra icing, and there was icing left over, so I could definitely add like a little on the side here and dip it. That icing is a bomb as well. Cake is super moist, which is what I definitely really wanted, because you want it to be like nice, light, buttery, moist. I don't think you want to put any butter pecan ice cream on the side of this. Maybe some vanilla, because it's sweet, but it's not too much. I don't know. You have to make and decide for yourself if you just want cake or if you want cake and ice cream. I think a little taste of vanilla would definitely go good with this cake. So go ahead and grab the recipe in the description box below. Don't be stingy, make sure that you share and join us back for more over here at Whip It Like Butter. Bye. Yes.